You are not doing like some husband will be like, my mother does not do this, my mother does not do that. You can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. And I'm like, so if you had wanted a mother, then don't marry. Because the moment you begin to put your wife in the place of your mother, I'm saying that the two roles are different in its essence, essentially.
Yeah, but you see, because our girls are raised to be mothers. So, and they tell them, and I hear people say it, that your husband is your first child. And I'm like, he's not your child. So you find out, that's why you find out it is going to be very difficult for an elderly person, for a woman to be older. You understand? Because she comes in with the mothering instinct already. So you guys will begin to feel like, is it because you're older than me?
Yeah.
So that's usually the contradiction that happens. But you don't have to. You don't. So for me, I don't believe that you should marry a person just because he's older than you or younger than you. It doesn't follow. Alright? Because like I'm saying to you, that the essence of marriage is personal fulfillment. Okay? So I don't want to be able to marry my mother. So, but you see, women are raised like that. It's culturally acceptable for a wife to take the role of a mother. That's why they say, you understand all of those kind of things. You understand? Your child now becomes, so you are even already becoming the husband to your child. So he automatically somewhere in his mind, alright, his mother is his first wife. So if you don't come and behave like that, and so everybody feels like that's the acceptable thing to do. But I'm telling you, if for instance, not because my mother is not a good person, but if for instance I won't marry my mother. I don't get what I'm saying. I will not. The truth is, will your wife eventually act mother? It's an instinct. Alright? But let him be free to be himself. Alright? That's the way you would enjoy it. If not, and then the husband should also, you see, we've spoken about the husbands in the first instance. But the wives must also understand that nobody wants to marry his mother. He doesn't want to be supervised like as if he's a child. Alright? He doesn't want to be supervised as if he's a child. But I find out that some women come up and make it look like they are supervising their sons again. Their husbands become somebody to be supervised. I'm not saying that men should be reckless or should be something, alright? But you see, the truth is that men are actually very, it's just machismo outside. Men are actually very soft on the inside. That's why you find out a man who is backing somewhere. He comes to the woman he loves, he becomes like a teddy bear. And you are wondering, why he was doing this one. Alright? Some of them you find out that they're and then one small girl that will be rubbing their head. And you are wondering, Baba, and why is this small girl? The goal of that, what happens and makes that kind of thing possible is that there is something in the female, alright, that naturally calls out to the man. Alright? You see, the truth is, if you see all men together, they are boring. But you see, once you throw in a woman or a female into the mix, something different begins to happen. Alright? So the point is that there is a part of the man that actually responds to the woman. And that's why the Bible speaks about it, that an unbelieving wife will convert her husband just by being who she is. Alright? She doesn't need to go and be saying to him, "Oga, stop drinking, stop doing this, stop doing that." Just be yourself. Alright? Just be yourself. He will just be able to feel like, something is wrong with me. Alright? So that's what people need to go around and do.
I remember while I was still in secondary school, I am not a very good footballer, but anytime our girls in class comes to watch football, you just begin to play super, like you just want to, because suddenly you feel like you have people to impress, and then you are just wanting to put in your best because the ladies are watching. Like you said earlier, that there's just something about women that calls out the best of every man being himself. They don't even need to say anything, but you just feel like
they don't. Truthfully, they don't even need to say anything. They don't. That's why when I see men who treat women wrongly, I'm like, this one is a fool. He's a fool. one, or he's responding, he married, or he's trapped a woman he shouldn't have been. Because you see, the truth is, if a man really likes a woman, he will do very crazy things. All right, he will do crazy things. In fact, time becomes inconsequential. It was Jacob that said he worked 7 years, another 7 years additional, but it was just like a few days. How can 7 years just sound like a few days? He says because he loved her. That was talking about Rachel. He could afford to do another 7 years to get, after working 7 years for her, he was required to do double just because of her. That's how it is for a man to respond. It has nothing to do with he wanted to marry her. It's a natural disposition. That's why if somebody marries a woman, or a woman, for instance, who doesn't tickle his fancy to do stuff, he's already signing up for disaster. Or a woman marries a person who doesn't make her, who her natural charm, her natural energy doesn't spur him or her to be a better person, something is wrong. All right, so those are some of the things we find around, that people get into marriage and then they are looking for different expectations. So marriages basically break up for unfulfilled expectations. All right, unmet expectations. Because the truth is that the expectations are not personal. Most of the expectations are nominal, or are things that you're my wife, you're my husband, you should give me money. You should provide for your house. You are my husband, you should do certain things for me. So those expectations are nominal. They are not out of who am I. All right? Anybody can give money, can pay school fees, can do basic things. All right? For as long as the person is human, he can do the basics. All right? So the point is, you think that you are marrying a man because of the basics, you are in trouble. You expect unmet expectations, whether the expectations are from financial, they are sexual, or whatever. People come up with expectations. That's why marriages break.
Just like you said much earlier in our conversation, that if somebody gets approved to marry because he has the money, if anything happens to it, then the expectation for which, or the reason for which you went into it in the first place, is no longer there.
It's not there.
Then it becomes a problem, because the man comes to his natural self, quote and unquote, and you are like, this is not what I saw before I got into the.
Is it? It's that simple. So the point is, that's why